Good evening, everyone. My name is Vertina Long, and I am the CEO of Solely for You Financial Freedom and Prosperity. Uh, a little bit about our mission for our company. We are a company that we're dedicated in making sure that consumers have an understanding of how money is generated, spent, and saved. In addition, we want you to gain skillfulness and the capability to utilize economic assets to formulate sound decisions. And so a little later, I will do a video on how I ended up getting involved in financial literacy, trying to make sure that I educate consumers on how to repair their credit, how to maintain a good credit score. But tonight I'm going to go over some things with you just so that we can kind of get you started and kind of get you thinking about your credit, because a lot of times people don't even know what their credit score is or what a credit report is. So we just wanted to talk to you guys tonight about 10 things everyone should know about your credit score. And so this information can be found online. I know some people are visual learners, and some people are hands-on, some people are auditory. But so I'll go ahead and post a link uh, in the video so that you can go ahead and look at that as well. But to get started, the first thing that we're going to talk about is credit reports are different from credit scores. So your credit report is going to be a report that is a thorough record of your credit history, and it includes credit accounts, how often you apply for credit, debt collections accounts, and some public records. That's going to include judgments and bankruptcies. And so uh, it also includes strong on-time payment history that brings your credit score up. Most lenders look at your score, and this is why it is important to check your credit report regularly to make sure that everything is correct on there, because sometimes stuff end up on there that's not even your information or your accounts. And so, and especially if it's bad, you want to make sure that that gets off your credit report. Both your credit score and your credit report are kept by three credit bureaus. And so those credit bureaus are TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. So the second thing that you should know is your scores are based on five core factors. So those core factors are going to include payment history, credit utilization, average age of credit accounts, account types, and inquiries. So your payment history, that's going to refer to how often you have a late payment, and is the most important factor, accounting for 35% of your score. So you want to be very careful that if you have accounts that you are making those payments on time. At least make the minimum payments. You want to try to do over that, but if you can't do anything but the minimum payments, you want to make sure that you are doing that on time. Credit utilization, that's going to be around 30% of your score, and it takes into consideration how much of your available credit you're using. So your credit utilization ratio should be less than 30%. So that means if you have three credit cards that equal $10,000, uh, and that's your credit limit. Well, you only want to carry a $3,000 balance or less, and you want to make sure that's across all the cards, not separately, but every single card. That is what you want to take into account, that full 10,000, and then the 30% of that. You want to make sure that you stay below that. So as I said, that's 30%. And then you have your average age of credit accounts. So the older your credit accounts are, the better. This shows a long-term history of responsible financial management and accounts for 15% of your credit score. More than 10 years is considered excellent. So if you have something on there that is more than 10 years old and it has a good payment history on it, you want to make sure that stays. Even if you have a credit card from college, you may not be using that credit card, but you might want to still keep that credit card open if you have a good payment history on there, because that shows that you have a good uh, history of paying your credit on time. And then we have account types. A few revolving accounts, such as a credit card, as well as installment accounts, such as a car, home loans. Lenders are looking at that, and that shows them that you're responsible in managing multiple types of debt. Your credit mix, that is going to account for 10% of your score. And then we have the inquiries. So when you apply for credit, then lenders most of the times are going to pull a hard pull, what they call a hard pull on your credit. And so that means that ends up going on to your credit report. And so the more you have on your report, the more the lenders are looking at, you're having to apply for a lot of different lenders just to try to get a loan, and they frown upon that. So we want to keep that at a minimum. You don't want to have anyone pull your credit unless you really, really need to and are really looking at uh, trying to get credit through whoever your that lender is. So, and that's going to account for 10% of your score. So that was how your score, how they base your score, and those are the 5 factors. So you can get your scores and reports for free. So a lot of people don't know that you can get your report for free, and you can do that 4 times every month. So, excuse me. If you cycle through the credit bureau, so this can help you catch inaccurate items that's on your credit report. Sometimes people put things on your credit report that don't belong on there, or maybe it's something old and it's not supposed to be on there. You can dispute that. So you want to make sure that you're checking your credit report to make sure that you don't have anything in there that does not supposed to be on there. You can also get your credit score free from various places. Many major credit card companies offers access to FICO scores as a part of their customer perks, and you can also get a score from credit.com. So you can get one from credit.com, Credit Karma. It'll have your score in there. I have a couple of credit cards, and they have where I can monitor my score uh, through that credit card company. So you want to definitely be watching that. So checking your own score won't hurt it. So while it's true that too many hard inquiries have a negative impact on your score, the effect is small and it's temporary. There's also an exception made if you're applying for the same type of loan in a short period of time. So you can shop around for the best deal on a car loan without having to worry about your credit taking a hit. If you're checking your own score, however, there is no penalty and it doesn't show up on your credit report as an inquiry at all. So that's something good to know. The next thing is there are different scores and score ranges. Each of the 3 major credit bureaus, as well as Vantage Score, which I didn't know about them until just the other day. They have their own scoring model with different ranges. Your score changes depending on which one you're looking at. It's important to know what the range is for the score you're looking at and not to rely too heavily on just one bureau's score. So Experian, their range is from 360 to 840. Equifax is 280 to 850, and then TransUnion is 300 to 850, and then Vantage score is 501 to 990. Uh, Number six is going to be your credit can help you spot fraud. So if you're keeping an eye on your credit score and pulling your free credit report every 4 months, you'll be much more likely to spot problems that indicate you could be the victim of identity theft. So, for example, if you get a notification that your credit score has dropped, then that might be an indication that there's something going on with your credit report or your credit score, and you might need to check that out. So that's another good reason why you need to make sure that you're keeping an eye on that. Your credit score can cost you thousands over a lifetime. Your credit score can cost you thousands over a lifetime. Having a less than great credit score means you also are getting less than great terms on credit cards and on loans. So the biggest factor is the interest. So as a general rule, the lower your credit score, the higher your interest rate. That can add up to paying thousands more over a lifetime for access to credit than you would with a better credit score. So even raising your score 100 points or so, you can save a lot of money in the long run. And I've just noticed that just over the just I've been working since February, and since February to March, my score was raised almost 80 points, and it's just different. It's just different for me. The score is up. My score is over 700, and it's just different. You lenders look at you differently. So there's let's see here. There's no such thing as a joint credit score. So my credit score has nothing to do with my husband Demetrius's credit score. He has a credit score, and I have a credit score. So we don't have to worry about that. If you're married, have joint accounts, or just sharing credit with an authorized user, you may be concerned about how it can affect your credit. Credit scores are individual, so even if the person has poor credit and you add them to your credit card, your score won't go down. However, if the person doesn't make a payment as agreed or racks up a big balance, it can affect your score because it's technically your account. Whenever you share credit, make sure you are aware who you're uh, sharing that credit with, and make sure that they're going to be responsible, and make sure that they don't miss payments. Then nine, we have negative information eventually ages off. So we all make mistakes. I've been there. You've been there. We've all been there. So if you have some not so great moments in your credit history, you may be relieved to hear that eventually it will drop off your credit report. As long as you keep your credit in good standing, moving forward, eventually past mistakes won't be a factor. And then 10, credit scores aren't the only things that matter for lending decisions. So while your credit score can impact a lot of your ability to access credit, it isn't the only thing lenders consider. If you have no credit or poor credit, you may be able to secure uh, a loan, but this is usually most effective at smaller institutions such as local banks or credit unions, where you're more likely to be able to talk to the decision maker and have someone look at your entire financial picture instead of just your credit score. And so those are the things that I wanted to talk to you about tonight. 10 things everyone should know about their credit score. And each night I'll be coming to you, talking to you about credit scores and the different things you should know about, repairing your credit. Um, each night I'm going to probably post a video since this COVID-19 is going on. I'm going to talk to you about just some small videos on financial resources for consumers, like avoid scams while finding help, tips to stay on top of your finance while this crisis is going on, talking about online and mobile banking tips. Supervisory work continues with a commitment to protecting consumers, and that is information that I am finding online, and we will be talking about the different aspects, being aware of scams, even about our student loans. And I do say our tips for financial caregivers. Maybe you're handling someone else's finances, protecting your credit, dealing with debt. So a lot of things that I'll just be coming to you about regarding credit, because I want everyone that uh, either uh, come into my presence or watch my videos. I want you to be able to have uh, a sound financial freedom from debt. That's just my goal for 2020. Sometimes I'll be on with my daughters, my husband, my family. I've got my whole family involved in trying to get their credit on the right track to where it should be. So just want to jump on for a little bit tonight because I've been saying I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And then the day will get by and it doesn't get done. And so I just refused today. I said I didn't care how late it was. I was going to go ahead and get this done. So go ahead and enjoy the rest of your evening. I will see you guys on tomorrow. Just be looking for my videos on the social media websites. Thank you.